Strategic back again. Let's see if the chair works this time because I've been having problems with it. So here we go. Now on my end, it will sound like a chair. Like I heard it perfectly fine, the normal intro, but I don't know how it's going to sound on your end. So I have to wait for the replay to see if it's working. Okay. But we are having some technical difficulties with some of my sound effects. Let's give it one more try. All right, so we got a very important show for you guys today. I want to just showcase a few things for you guys. I want to start off the show talking about this teacher that was fired from his teaching position because of videos that he made of him and his students. Some people will say doing inappropriate things, okay? And I'm not going to hold you. I'm not going to make it some type of mystery as to what he did. Many of you have already heard about this story. He basically recorded his students taking down his hair, meaning that his hair was in braids, and they took the braids out. That's called taking down the hair. And then he was recording them braiding his hair too. And there are other videos that did not go viral that I'm going to show you right now that shows why this teacher was really fired. I don't think he was fired because he had little girls playing in his hair. It sounds bad. I don't agree with it, but it sounds bad, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's traumatizing or something like that to those kids that would warrant this guy getting fired. But there are other things that this guy was doing that was inappropriate, that had no place in the workplace, right? Because at the end of the day, when you're a teacher, that's your job. And there's a certain level of professionalism that you're expected to uphold yourself to. Not just as not just because it's a professional thing to do, but it's what we expect as parents who pay a boatload of taxes in many instances. Like if you live in a city, you know, your school budget kind of comes from the entire tax base, right? So your city collects whatever taxes, whether it's payroll taxes. Some cities have payroll taxes like New York, and I think Boston and LA have payroll taxes. Then there's also like consumption taxes, like taxes on your food and your services. That's what help pays for your taxes. But when you live in the suburbs, you pay for your school district through your property taxes. So like in my area, our property taxes average between $15,000 and $25,000 a year in property taxes. That's just property taxes. That's to pay for our schools. So when you are directly paying for your school, and even if you're not directly paying for your school, if you live in a city and it's coming out the general fund, it doesn't matter. You're a taxpayer, you're paying for your kids' education. You expect the schools to do their job. And what is that? To teach. To teach. And in an era where everybody agrees on one notion, left, right, Democrat, Republican, conservative, liberal, centrist, doesn't matter. Educated, uneducated, doctors, lawyers, construction workers, McDonald's workers, it doesn't matter. We all agree on one thing. The education in America is failing. The education in America is trash. The education in America is going down the tubes. And the future of this country is looking bleak, not because of all the social issues that we have. That stuff ebb and flow. Listen, people, we made it through the civil rights movement. We made it through Vietnam. And the civil rights movement in Vietnam kind of was happening during the same time. The tail end for the civil rights movement, Vietnam start, and then they're both going crazy at the same time. We made it through those eras. If we could make it through those eras, we could make it through this era. We can make it through what's happening right now. People kind of get lost in the moment. They don't remember their history. But the educational system right now is what will be our demise, ladies and gentlemen, because this country has always been about innovation. And when you take innovation away, then what do you have to export to the world? You know who's innovating? India is innovating. You know who's innovating? China is innovating. You know who's innovating? Russia is innovating, ladies and gentlemen. You know who's becoming stagnant? The United States of America. And one of the reasons is our lack of education. Our education is so bad, ladies and gentlemen, that we are importing talent from other countries. That's what I'm a very big staunch immigration person, meaning that I think that we need to close up these borders. But even I would not close even a tiny bit the pathway of bringing people into this country who have advanced technical degrees to add to our workforce. We have to, ladies and gentlemen, because we aren't producing the engineers that we used to produce of yesteryear. We aren't doing it because our educational system is in the dumps. But before we go any further, I want to go ahead and give a big shout out to the people who are in the room. I love you guys. Always got to show you love. Remember, you can be a Strategiceyes member now. We are now remonetized, so consider becoming a Strategiceyes member. And also consider sending a super chat. You can do that now. It's all good. So, yeah, show love to the channel if you can. Michigan LeBear is in the building. Good morning, Strategic. Good morning to you, too. Qui-Gon Tea Time's in the building. What up, Strategic? Appreciate you. T. Williams in the building. Good morning. T. Williams is an educator, so this might hit home. So I'd love to hear what T. Williams has to say about this. Really would like your point of view if you want to come on the show. I don't know if you're busy right now, but definitely let's go. T. Williams say, wow, he got fired. And I'm not sure, like initially I was like, we shouldn't fire this guy, but the videos I'm about to play for you, you guys will make the decision yourself if you think he deserved to be fired. Let's keep going. Chris Dryer's in the building. Dave is in the building. What's happening, guys? Lucifer Doberman says 25,000 property taxes. That's robbery. Well, you know, at the end of the day, we aren't complaining up here, and this is a very conservative county that I'm in the outskirts of New York City, the suburbs. We aren't complaining because we do have world-class education. We aren't complaining because our kids have football fields, baseball fields. They don't share fields. They have different fields. Olympic size or professional size basketball courts. So they have all these things. Lacrosse, we have golf. Our kids can take golfing because we have golf clubs up here. So yes, we're paying a lot, but we're also getting a big value. All our kids have computers that they take home with. You know, there are counselors in the school. They're all the resources that they need to be successful, upper middle class, and hopefully rich people of tomorrow is here. That's one thing I tell my daughters, only because they're older. My son is still too young. I tell them, we have given you this opportunity. We are sacrificing to give you an opportunity we never had. Take advantage of it. The problem is that when kids are growing up middle class, they often believe that that's a given, that is the standard. They feel like, and they feel like they can't go any lower than that. They don't understand that you have to work to either maintain where you are or to go higher. And that is the curse of raising children outside of poverty. So when I was raised in abstract poverty, not just poverty, but abstract poverty, right? For me, everything was up, meaning that if I worked just a little bit, I would have a little bit more than what I have now. And it became addictive that the harder I work, the more I got, the more I wanted more. But when you're raising children, that they have that solid foundation, God willing, that's what we're trying to do at least. They don't understand how low they can go. But we pay a lot in taxes, absolutely, but we also get a lot of value. I've never heard anybody in the county complain about wasted tax dollars from our local government. And I got to say, I'm not conservative, I'm not a Republican, but our local government is Republican, and they do appropriately spend our resources. Our cops are well paid. Yes, our cops are paid more than the average. I get that, but our cops also are very respectful, and they do their job, which is order maintenance in our community. We don't need them proactively pulling people over to look for things. We just need them to maintain the status quo, to maintain the safety of the community, and they do a good job about that. All right, so let's keep going. All right, Scrappy's a member now. What's happening, brother? Appreciate you. Thanks for coming through. Scrappy made it live. We love you. We love to see you, Scrappy. We love to hear from you. Chris Rice says, I think it's anti-West sentiments that makes us stagnate. Kids are making a difference these days protesting. They think. I do think they think that they're making a difference as well. All right, so let's get into this, Joe. Let's jump into it. All right, so let me go ahead and pull. I want to pull. Oh, my gosh. Hold on. I want to pull the video first. I want to see if I can. So here's the video here. So let me share my screen real quick with you fine folks. and get you in on the video. All right. Boom, boom. All right. Here we go. So this, I believe, is the initial video.
Let's go ahead and stir the pot a little, shall we? Last Friday, 10 minutes before dismissal time, I decided to live stream my students helping me take my hair out. There was quite the discourse in the chat, which had people saying this was inappropriate and other people saying this was completely fine. There was nothing wrong with what I was doing, and people were just making it weird. So, of course, I had to bring this issue to the big stage. I would like to represent myself in this case, Your Honor, if I may. Number one, for a little context, I had a hair appointment immediately after school, and I needed my hair taken out beforehand. I would have taken it out the night before, but that Friday we had a camera crew coming in to shoot a promotional video, and I was one of the ones being interviewed. So I had to look presentable, so I didn't take my hair out. I didn't have the time to do it all myself because it would have taken me forever. So naturally I asked about 4 or 5 of my over 100 best friends to assist me in taking my hair out, and they all agreed. Number two, this was at the end of class. This week, let's go ahead and start.
All right, so there's more to it. Let's see it.
Since it was Friday and all of my students did an excellent job on their STEM field projects and presentations, I told them if we get one solid presentation in this class, I'll end class a little early and
It's
they can have
inappropriate.
fun and play basketball, darts, or be on their phones or whatever. And during that time, my team would help me take my hair out. A couple of these were students from my class, but others were students from other classes.
Thank you, W Daisy girl. Appreciate you.
Period, requesting their assistance 10 minutes before dismissal. I told the teachers only send them if all of their work was completed and they had good behavior. They all met the criteria, so 10 minutes before dismissal, they showed up for their job. My next point I'd like to make is if I was a female teacher, those people wouldn't be in the comments saying, oh, this is weird, this is inappropriate. Because me personally, I don't think there's anything weird about this. People.
No, I disagree because there was a female teacher recently who gave a child a haircut, cut their hair a little bit, styled it and all that, and that teacher was fired for doing that because that teacher had no right, no business in that child's hair. I don't know if it makes it any worse or any better that it was reversed, but still, it's still the concept of playing in a child's hair. But let's keep going.
We're saying, oh, that's too intimate. To me, it's literally just hair. It doesn't have to be weird. Some people have never had cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships, since it was Friday and all of them had cool teachers, and it shows.
First of all, big shout out to Lovely T, who's posting this. I love Lovely T. I'm a big fan of hers on YouTube, all that good stuff. So back to her.
Teachers, and it shows.
There we go. Oh, sorry. Oh, shit. Let's go back. Oh, sorry. Teacher braid hair. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So let's do it.
Cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building had cool teachers, and it shows. I personally believe that building authentic relationships with students is paramount in being an effective teacher. I make sure my students know and can feel that I care about them beyond the schoolwork and all the stuff that I have to make them do. I take the time to get to know my students outside of academics because caring for the whole child is what's important. Some of these students have been with me since I was a substitute 4 years ago. They see me as a big brother or a father figure, as some of them say. And me, I don't want kids of my own, so all of these kids are literally my children. And in case you're wondering,
I never understood people who say they don't want to have kids. I don't know, and I'm not judging. I'm talking about from a very personal perspective that you don't want children of your own. To me, it seems a little selfish. I think we have a duty to the human race, but then again, you know, I do see the worst parents on the planet and wish that they didn't have kids. So I guess if a person's like, hey, I don't want to have I don't want to have the responsibility of taking care of a kid, I guess I commend you for being honest with yourself, but it just never sits right to me. I feel like there's almost a little bit of a biological imperative to want to have children. It's amazing how some people can fight that biological urge, but let's keep going.
About their parents, most of them follow me on social media and always talk about my videos with their kids. They always tell me that they're so grateful that their kids have someone like me in their life. In my admin, they're well aware of my social media presence and they love my videos. To me, this is just another wholesome moment that I'm having with my kids that I was fortunate enough to had cool teachers, and it
All right,
shows.
so this is the last one.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start clearing some people. Start off with this gentleman right here. You're letting your daughters play in a grown man's head. God forbid I had kids, but if I had a daughter with a teacher like myself, with a good heart, good spirit, sound mind, no, I would not mind if they took his hair out. That's what little girls like to do. They like to do hair and do nails and makeup. I have 5 little sisters. You bet your ass I done had a wig on my head before, had a whole lace front. I done got my nails painted.
Yeah, but that's with your sisters, bro. That's not with other people's kids. All right. When you're being paid to educate them, you're taking the time so that they can take your hair out because you have a hair appointment right after school. So basically, you are acknowledging that you're using them at the very least for a service. At the very least, you're using them to make your hair appointment, come on, like, but whatever. Let's let him finish and then let's go to some of the other videos.
Done. Bro, this is what they do. As a father, I would even let my daughter do those things. Like if she wanted to paint my nails pink or freaking put a wig on me or do my hair.
Yeah, but once again, we're talking about your kid that you don't have, but if you had one, not other people's kids. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let's go ahead and start clearing some people. Start off with this gentleman right here. You're letting your daughters play in a grown man's head. God forbid I had kids. Yeah, let's go ahead and start. I done got my nails painted, eyebrows done. Bro, this is what they do. As a father, I would even let my daughter do those things. Like if she wanted to paint my nails pink or freaking put a wig on me or do my hair or put makeup on me, I'm going to do every single one of those things. You know why? Because I'm secure in my masculinity. That's one thing that I think is stumping a lot of guys, a lot of grown men today, is they are not secure with themselves and they project their own insecurities onto others. Everything doesn't have to be weird. It's even the... Yeah, let's go ahead and...
Yeah, I disagree with that too. Like a lot of guys, a lot of people, period, like to play the whole masculinity game. Like, oh, you know what? If you don't agree to do certain things, then you're afraid, you're not secure with your masculinity. You know, there are social norms and social cues that we have. And some social norms say, hey, guys don't do certain things or wear certain things. It's called just the organized society. All right, so let me go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and play this for you. So now this is very interesting. This is the same teacher. This is his classroom. This is some of the other interactions and conversations that he had that has not gone viral yet. Let's see if you guys think that this is inappropriate. Let's listen.
Teacher.
He said, do you prefer a girl with a pretty face? Would you prefer a girl with a pretty face and no butt? Let's see the teacher's response.
Highly inappropriate to ask your teacher, but big yacht is preferred, not gonna lie.
And then
now when he said the yacht, he's talking about the butt. That's a kid slang for booty. Yacht. Like you got a yacht on your butt, a big old boat on your butt. So he said the yacht is preferred. So this kid is asking him, he's being recorded. He knows it's being recorded. I don't even know if this is staged or not, but it's inappropriate. The kid is asking, would you prefer a girl with a pretty face or a big butt? His response is, oh, this is a highly inappropriate thing to ask me, but the butt basically is preferred. Why are you having this conversation with this young black boy who's already over-sexualized because of the culture that he's most likely growing up in? Because of the rap hip-hop culture that's already objectifying females, why are you playing into that? Why not use that as an opportunity to actually educate this young man on looking past women's physical attributes and actually appreciating them as people instead of objects of your desires? But let's keep going because I think he knows he messed up, so let's see what he does now.
after that, he had that same boy come back and ask him that same question. And this is what he said.
Do you prefer fat butt, ugly face, or small butt, cute face?
First of all, to even talk to me like that as a teacher is inappropriate, but let's keep going.
That's a wildly inappropriate question to ask, but just like I tell you all, I'm not one for the objectification of women, so I don't necessarily, I'm not looking for the yachts, as y'all would say. I'm not looking for that.
But that's not what you said before, though, buddy. You said you prefer the yacht, but let's keep going.
Yeah, so I'm just not going to answer that, but it's not what I'm looking for, because women are not objects.
So yeah, you just watched one video of him saying he prefer a gat And then he turned around and said, women are not objects. And then here go a video about this whole emo thing he did before he was a teacher, or way before this whole thing, or some shit like that. This is what he did.
That's the teacher. No, fuck that. No. This was 2 years ago when he was a substitute teacher. Yeah, that was. And why is the video on her ass?
And for anybody that tried to play confused about that video, basically the girl had the video on her ass and was talking about she only like emo boys. And he stitched the video singing and acting like he's an emo character or some shit like that. Come on, gang. Ain't no coming back from that.
Now, hold on here. The question for me is that, was that a student? Was that a student female? So, I mean, it's hard for people to understand. Let me see if I can break it down so you guys can understand.
And he stitched the video. Anybody that tried to...
All right. So this is his page. He kind of like stitched it together, right? He was a substitute teacher at the time. He's pretending to be emo because the girl who's showing her buns is saying, I only like emo boys, right? So then he plays that video of her saying that and showing her butt, pitching her butt towards the camera. And then he's pretending, he dresses himself like he's emo with his hair over his face and stuff like that, right? If that is an underage girl that's in that video, this guy is highly inappropriate and deserved to be fired. If that is a minor girl who's in that video, this guy is suspect. So let me see something here.
No. This was 2 years ago when he was a substitute teacher.
She's in the classroom. That's a little girl. She's in the classroom. Look at that. She's in the classroom. It's a little girl. It's a little girl with a hoodie, with a hoodie, showing her butt, saying she only like emo boys, and he's now pretending to be emo in the video. That's crazy. That's inappropriate. So he's basically saying, look at me, I'm emo. Let me get some of that ass. Some of that underage booty. Let me get some of that because I'm emo. That's basically what he's saying. Student's a creep. He's a creep. He's a creep. So when I first saw that the guy was fired over the hair braided thing, I said, listen, it's inappropriate what he did, but this is something he could probably be counseled for. He could get retrained, get a little discipline, maybe a week without pay if that's what they want to do. I don't know, but he's savable because it looks like he cares about the kids. But when you start seeing him answering these questions and perpetuating this disgusting culture of young black kids sexualizing females, which is being thrust upon them by hip hop culture, when you see him not fighting against that and actually playing into that, and then you see him fetishizing and fantasizing about underage girls, that's a problem for me. And that's what I believe that I see. Maybe I could be wrong. It's still alleged, but that's what they're presenting in this video right now. This guy does not deserve to be around children if these allegations are true. He doesn't deserve it.
That's the teacher. No, fuck that. No. This was 2 years ago when he was a substitute teacher. Yeah, that was. And why is the video on her ass?
And for anybody that tried to play confused about that video, basically the girl had the video on.
They saying he R. Kelly right now. The last person was getting in. I can't play that because then I get copyright strike. But that's R. Kelly's song, where some underage girl was braiding his hair, and we all know what R. Kelly was doing with the underage girls. All right, so I want to watch his response. Let's go here. Uh-oh. Oh, I got to take this. Hold on 1 second, people. I'll be right back.
Sending me during some of the messages that they've been sending me. During this time, hey bestie, I really hope that you see this message. How are you? I hope that you're okay. Our class misses you so much, and we really want you to know that we love you and we miss you so much and can't wait for you to come back. I can't believe that taking somebody's hair out is such a big deal, and it makes me so mad that people make little things big things. I want you to know that the class and others got your back, and we will always stand behind you and up for you no matter what happens. We got you. Again, we miss you and we love you so much, and can't wait for you to come back. I wish that this never happened because it feels like we're losing you.
All right, this is very troubling, and I'll tell you why it's troubling. Because he's reading text messages from his students. He's reading text messages from his students. That shows you the boundaries here are whacked. He has no boundaries with these kids. We don't need you to be like these children. We need you to be a pillar of what these children should be trying to aspire to be, which is an educated adult. That's what we need. We don't need you to be their friends. We don't need you to talk like them. We don't need you to use their vernacular, their slang. We don't need none of that because their vernacular and their slang is wrong. We don't want them growing up talking with slang. We want them growing up talking the King's English. Why? Because the King's English is what's going to get you a job. That's what we want. When I'm sitting there talking, I deal with victims of all races, stripes and creeds, whatever you want to think about. I can't go talking to all these people like, yo, you know what I'm saying? What happened to you? You know what I mean? To run it down for me. You know what I mean? Tell me what happened. I can't. No. I need to be able to articulate myself. I need to say, I'm so sorry that this happened to you. Can you please run it down to me? Can you please tell me what happened? I'm sorry, I'm saying run it down to me because I'm over here flipping back and forth. Can you please tell me what happened? Can you please explain to me how we got to this point? You can't use that kind of talk in corporate America. You can't use that type of talk in professional jobs when you're dealing with people. We need you to be a pillar for these children to aspire to. Yet this guy thinks that it's in his best interest and the children's best interest for him to be their friend rather than their role model. And you don't have to talk to children on social media, have their, got their phone number in their phones and all that stuff and do inappropriate stuff and be their friend in order for them to look up to you. You just have to be honorable. You just have to be respectable. You just have to exude respect and demand it. That's it. That's all we're asking for you as taxpaying Americans who are giving you our children and trusting you to take care of them. This guy is highly inappropriate. Let's keep going.
Come back soon. Don't be gone too long, because if you're not back by Monday, I know something's up. But anyways, I also made sure that the classroom was clean before we left. Love you, missed you. Love you, miss you. See you later.
This dude is clearly emotionally, I hate to see somebody cry. I don't like to see people cry. I don't know if he's really crying. I don't see any tears coming out. But come on, what grown man is going to be here crying on recording himself crying about this? Like if you feel like you were wrongfully terminated, you be on there like, listen, I don't think that I did anything wrong. The children, I only have their best interests in mind. I'm going to be hiring an attorney so that I can fight for my job and fight for the rights that I feel were violated by the school district. That's how an adult would talk. Not sitting here reading these kids' messages who don't know any better and fake crying and all that stuff. But, this is the new generation, with the nose ring, the ones that the cows usually have. Anybody here a farmer and knows why cows have those rings? I don't know. This is that generation. This is a soft generation that lacks boundaries, lacks understanding of how it is to properly conduct yourself as an adult. And these folks are flocking towards teaching. And they're indoctrinating our children into these alternative lifestyles. And I'm not talking about LGBTQ and all that stuff. I'm not talking about that stuff, right? I'm talking about this ultra liberal mindset that holds nobody accountable. And that ultra liberal mindset has nothing to do with being a Democrat, Republican, or whoever. Because just because you're a Democrat doesn't mean that you lack common sense. Of course, Democratic people, they're your neighbors. They're normal people. There are segments. If you go to the right, there are ultra-right people who are batshit crazy. When you go to the left, there are ultra-left people who are batshit crazy. These are the people who are running the show. These are the people who are over here destroying the foundations of our country. Scrappy says, rooting their way out of the pen or under the fences while they get the nose ring. Bad cow, bad pig. Oh, so the nose ring is to identify who's the problematic animal. I got it. That makes sense. Can somebody second that for me? It's not that I don't believe you, Scrappy. I just like to get a second and a third when we talk about things. Qui-Gon T-Time says, Guy is a manipulator. He's trying to use empathy to get clout. And Qui-Gon T-Time says, communism. I agree. Lucifer the Dorman says, the ring is for easily moving and manipulating cows. So if you pull them by the ring, they're going to follow, of course, because they're being pulled by their nose, and it might hurt them. That's interesting. All right, let's keep going.
Hi, Mr. White. We've been seeing all this stuff going on, and so has your other former students, and I just want you to know that we're standing with you. I'm literally in my junior year of high school right now, and seeing all this, you were my and many others' favorite teacher.
All right. So anyway, we're going to move on to the next segment. I will say this, right? I think this guy loves being a teacher, and I think that's commendable. I think there's no evidence that this guy was touching anybody's child in a sexual way. There's no evidence at this time that this guy is a molester or pedo or anything like that. I think he has boundary issues. And I think that you can save somebody like that. I think this guy simply needs to be retrained. And first, he needs to take some time. And it's hard to say that because I don't know what his living situation is. I don't know if he needs a job right now or whatever. If he lives with his mother or his father or whatever, or with friends, and they're willing to show him some grace and let him, kind of take some time and recharge, I think he needs to do that. And then when he comes back to teaching, because I do want him to come back to teaching. When he comes back to teaching, I hope he learns the lesson of the boundaries. And I hope he takes the same enthusiasm and zeal that he has in teaching these kids and loving these children, and he channels it in a more professional way. And I think in time, as he gets older, he's going to realize that that's the better way of doing it. He's going to realize that his outcomes are going to be even better when he can mentor and love these children at a distance by being a pillar for them to look up to rather than somebody that they feel like they can fully immerse themselves in interacting with. I think once he realizes that, he'll be a good teacher, so long as there aren't any issues with anything that I don't know. If there's anything more evidence that this school district had that they didn't release publicly, that shows that he's a bad person or he's a danger to children, if that's the case, keep him far away from the kids, please. And if you need to, refer it to law enforcement if there's something that really crosses the line. But from what I've seen so far, I see a young man who is kind of blurring the lines between the student and the teacher. And I think that that's not cool. And I think he can do better. And I think when he does better, he's going to be a great teacher. So that's my verdict on this, okay? Let's not kill this man. We taught him a lesson. Let's give him some time to get his life together. Then let's give him another chance, all right? Because most people deserve second chances. All right. That being said, I want to go ahead and bring in the next video. This is
things that we see going.
A young lady that I watch often. I think she's very beautiful. I'm not going to lie to you. Amala. She's gorgeous. All right. She has a very unique look. She's white and Nigerian. She's a very unique look. Amazing body. I mean, it is what it is. No disrespect. But listen, is she the baddest chick I've dated chicks that look better than her, but her mind and how she looks, she's top tier woman, in my opinion. Because she's got a really good mind on her, very intelligent woman, and she's very beautiful. All right, so she's covering this young woman who's talking about black culture and the problem with black culture, and basically something we've been talking about on this channel for a gajillion years, that hip hop culture and black ghetto culture is the destruction of the black community. It's the destruction of black community because it takes us away from the values that made us one of the most thriving communities not too long ago when it comes to humankind. So yes, every year we're moving away. We're now, 40, 50 years away, but 40, 50 years in the past, we were one of the most successful communities in America. We had a high marriage rate, a very low divorce rate. Education was going good. Generational wealth was building up. And then everything just started going crazy. Who did it? I think it's a mixture of a lot of things. I think there's accountability that the black community has to hold within itself. I think the CIA putting crack cocaine into the black community. And ladies and gentlemen, you guys know Strategiceyes is not a conspiracy theorist. If you go and do the basic level of research, you will clearly see that the introduction of crack cocaine into the black community was done by the CIA. Hands down, period. There's tons of kingpin drug dealers and government officials who are old as hell now, who have been interviewed, who says, yes, we did it. Drug dealers, yep, I received my drugs from the CIA. CIA officials, government officials, yes. It's a fact. It's a fact that the CIA put crack cocaine into the black community. That's a fact. Other things are going to be the record labels that perpetuate and promote this type of music. And of course, it was the first thing I said, and it's the last thing I said, the accountability of the black community to say, we're going to accept this. Because we don't have to accept it. Because we know it's a problem. And we can easily say, this is evil. We don't want to consume this stuff anymore. And we don't want to glorify these things, okay? Because there's ghetto culture in every single race and demographic. White people have ghetto culture. Asian people have ghetto culture. Indian people, West Indian people, Latin people, everybody has ghetto culture in their societies. The thing is, do you glorify it? White people have a very large ghetto culture. We hear them all the time. Rednecks, white trash, all that stuff. All these are names that actually come from white people. White people are the one who coined the term white trash and redneck. Not black people, not Asian people, not Latin people. That came from the white community. But they don't glorify it. When you look at the news, when you look at pop culture, when you look at entertainment, you don't see white folks glorifying ghetto culture. You don't see them putting rednecks on a pedestal. You don't see them putting what they would deem white trash on a pedestal. But when you look at, even when you look at Latino culture, you don't see them. When you look at Latino TV, all you see is beautiful, shapely women being flirtatious and handsome men in suits. Go on 47 Telemundo and all those different channels. All you see is Latino, strong, fit men in suits and scantily clad, beautiful Latin women showing off their femininity. When you look at white culture and you look at their movie stars and their pop stars, what do you see? You look at the red carpet, what do you see? You see white folks with these ornament dresses, looking like the movie stars of the 1920s and the late 1930s and 40s. That's what they put forward. You look at black culture, what do you see? Augmented breasts, augmented butts, damn near naked, gangsters, dressed inappropriately, with the baggy clothes and all that stuff, talking, crazy, they're not even speaking English. You can't even understand what they're saying, speaking Ebonics. That's what you see. You see most of our stars are ex-cons. That's not indicative of the black community. Most black people are not criminals. We look at the statistics and we see that the majority of homicides and violent crimes are done by black people in America. But when you look at the statistics, you see that that's done by a very small part of the black community. You see that it's a very small part of the black community. So the majority of black people aren't criminals. The majority of black people aren't murderers, aren't gangsters, aren't drug dealers. But yet, when you look at our culture, our pop culture, when you look at the entertainment section of our culture, It's nothing but felons that make up that spot. You look at other cultures, none of them got criminal records. Serious criminal records. Maybe, they're a movie star, they popped some pills and they went driving or something. Okay, half of Hollywood has a DWI. But half of Hollywood isn't on parole for murder. Half of Hollywood, didn't just come out of jail from selling, kilos of drugs. But you see that in black culture, in the music and all that bullshit. So let's listen to what they have to say. There's a very interesting conversation I want to share with you guys.
Protecting AAV, protecting things like gang violence and drug usage is probably not the way that we should be operating, but it's what we're doing.
Every racial group on the face of the planet has their own ghetto subculture within their respective racial and ethnic groups. This is the case for everybody, everywhere. White people, Asian people, Mexican people, you name it. The difference is that those racial groups and those ethnic groups do not allow their ghetto subculture to co-opt the entire culture as a whole and to represent the entire culture as a whole. They don't allow it. Everybody else within that respective ethnic group or cultural group or racial group has a...
Well, first of all, no disrespect, but this lady is cute too. Let me not just look at Amala. This young lady is very beautiful as well. I love the way she did her natural hair. It's kinky, it's beautiful, it's very well shaped. She's a very beautiful lady, very intelligent as well.
Right to say how they want to see themselves represented in the media, what they want to see and what they don't want to see, who gets to speak for them and who does not. Except for when you're a Black American and you have something to say about the way that you see Black Americans being portrayed in the media and you have a critique for your peers. You can't do it because it's respectability politics if you attempt to do it. Or you're judging your peers by a set of moral standards that somebody else created, which is a farce. From the Reconstruction era down through the 60s, Black Americans had their own set of moral standards and social protocols that we adhered to.
I love this, and this is why I wanted to play this part, because I got to deal with this a lot on this show. When I talk about and critique Black culture, the rebuttal is, well, first of all, you shouldn't be talking about this in public. That's the first thing that I'm told. This is not a conversation for the world. This is a conversation just for the community, which doesn't make any freaking sense to me, because the world has to deal with the repercussions, right? The world has to deal with the low educational outcomes. The world has to deal with the murder. The world has to deal with the property crimes. The world has to deal with Black people contributing. In New York State, Black people contributing over 70% of the population of people who are in state prison in New York State. When I worked in state prison, all I saw was Black people. That's it. There's no Aryan nation that's like in big, there's no, big Latino gangs and all that. They're there. All those gangs are there. But what I'm saying is you got like 15 white people in the whole jail. And there's 600 people in that one jail. And it's 15, 20 white people. The rest of them is Latino and Black. But the majority Black. There's like 15, 20 white people, 100 Latino people, 400 Black people. That's an epidemic. That's a problem we need to talk about. But when you talk about it, you are judged as being unfaithful to your own race, being a sellout, being uppity. Oh, you made it out the hood, so now you want to judge people in the hood. Instead of, I made it out the hood and now I want to help people who are still there understand that there's a problem so we could all be elevated. And that's one thing I wanted to play out of this segment. I didn't want to hijack a whole show because I don't know what her stance is on copyright. I don't want to, get any strikes or anything. But I think that hearing this from these two beautiful Black women was important. The rest of what she said is everything I said before I played the video about Black culture, about us glorifying this stuff. Now, T. Williams made a good point. He said, Google ex-con celebrities and you'll see Tim Allen and Mark Wahlberg. These are Caucasian people. But like I said, just to be clear, I'm not saying that there aren't white folks who have criminal records that are celebrities. But what I'm saying is that if you look at our Black rap celebrities, the majority of them fall in that ranks. I just watched an NBA YoungBoy getting bail. Multi-millionaire dude, still in trouble. We could just go down the list. Even Jay-Z is a drug dealer, is a convicted felon. All these people are people who were in the streets, people who were killing their own communities. So when I see Jay-Z and I see, all these folks, except for Rick Ross, he's not a felon. He used to be a correction officer, which I think people shouldn't make fun of him for. He was making money the legal way. But when you look at all these people and then you see them all, they're doing this great stuff for the community, I say, man, That's not charity. That's not even out the kindness of your heart. If Jay-Z go build a school right now in Harlem, that's not charity. That's not out the kindness of your heart. Why am I saying that? Why is Strategic saying that? Because you owe it to us. That's reconciliation. That's penitence right there. Because you spent a large chunk of your life destroying your community. And I hate to say it, that it's a scarlet letter over your head until the day you die, because actions have consequences. You sold drugs to pregnant ladies. You sold drugs to children. You sold drugs to adults. You killed people's parents. You destroyed households before you made your big break. So you owe that to us. You owe us that school, rapper. You owe us that scholarship. Because yeah, maybe it's been 20, 30, maybe even 40 years since you last did that, but you still did it. It's kind of like killing somebody or raping somebody. You can't take it back. It doesn't matter how you change your life. You still killed somebody. Somebody's family is hurt for all to eternity, for generations. They'll talk about the loved one that died at your hand. For generations, they'll talk about the loved one that was sexually abused by your hands. You owe this to us. The majority of these folks have these type of records. Now, I'm happy that they changed their life around, some of them. Because most, not most, I'm not going to say that, but quite a few of them are still engaging in criminal activity. But we glorify these people. Why is that? I don't know. I go on Instagram all the time, and I see all these posts coming to me. Young black people. One I just saw, which was awesome. These two young black girls who solved the Pythagorean theorem, I don't know. They solved pi. With trigonometry, which was was never done before. Maybe one person did it prior. One person did it prior who was a mathematician, right? And here are these two high school girls who solved it. They didn't work collaboratively. They're in the same class. They both decided to take on this task, Pythagorean theropods, whatever. T. Williams is a goddamn teacher, so he's got it. But for the rest of us, we just say pi, right? That's okay. It was a 3.14 or something like that. I think I remember it. Anyway, it's only been solved with trigonometry one time. These two girls in the same class in the same school, they both said, we're going to solve it with trig. And on their own, they both came up with their own solutions. For 1,000 years, only one mathematician was able to solve it with trigonometry. Inside of a school, two black girls solved it independently with two different ways of solving it. These girls are not all over the news right now. That's crazy. But let NBA Youngboy, let Keith Chief, let them say it, let them fart, and it'll be all over the news. All over pop culture, all over TMZ. But these two little girls who are math geniuses, they solved it. We now have three solutions. Three, ladies and gentlemen. Not one from that mathematician and then one other one done collaboratively with these two girls. No, three solutions. That's not all over the news. Every single day on my Instagram, young black men and women graduating from college, going to medical school, graduating from medical school, going into practice. I think they say only 9% of doctors are black. Only 9% of doctors are black. That's not all over the news. Young black boy, 13 years old, just graduated from college, about to go get his doctorate in computer science. Not all over the news. It kills me how we cover these achievements in our society. It kills me. Kills me. But it is what it is. It is what it is. All right, we're going to end the show. We're at 49 minutes. We're going to end the show with this last video about accountability. I don't know if I want to just show a little bit of this. This is body cam watch. I don't know if these guys are, the copyright strike kind. I don't know. But I just want to show a little bit about it because it really shows the lack of accountability of some people. I really wasn't going to show it because I just did a video on a black teacher And then I did a video with 2 black women talking about accountability in the community. And then now I'm going to play another black woman. It's like I don't want it to harp on my people like, oh, he's showing videos about black people doing bad, But this is what we had planned for the show. And so it is what it is, right? There's a lot of white people doing bad things, and I show them all the time. I just showed a cop in Florida, a white cop in Florida, shoot a black man who's a service person in what I believe is murder. Like I said. And then I showed another Caucasian officer in Queens, New York, shoot a mentally ill Indian man. And what I believe the first 2 shots was 100% justified, and the last 2 shots, quite frankly, may have been murder. That have to work itself through the courts. So we're equal opportunists here, but we just, we cover what we cover, all right? So please use the Discord, use the email. You want me to cover certain topics, make sure that you go ahead and you cover those topics. I usually cover what comes into my feed. If it don't come in my feed, I don't know that it's happening. And people don't really suggest shows like that. And when people do suggest shows, I usually cover it. So please, if you want me to cover certain topics, you see people doing bad, you want me to go over it, drop a link inside of the email, drop a link in the Discord. All right. That being said, this young lady, idiot. She really is. This young lady goes to McDonald's, and I still don't really understand what she was saying or something like that. We're not going to play the whole video, just a little bit of it, but I just want to show you how people get shot. She doesn't get shot. Nobody gets hurt in this video, YouTube gods. Nobody gets hurt in this video, right? But I want to show you how people can get hurt. And then we come asking questions later like, what happened? Why did this happen? It happens because some people are just stupid. Some people are so counter culture. They don't understand accountability. They don't understand how to follow instructions, that they inadvertently put their lives in danger, okay? So this young lady goes to McDonald's, and there's something like I think if you use your account or something, if they ask you if you want to use your McDonald's account, and I rarely go to McDonald's, but my son likes McDonald's, and they have an app now with a loyalty program with McDonald's. And I think in her case, what she was saying is that if you come to the drive-thru and the person doesn't ask you if you're going to use your McDonald's account, they will give you a free cookie. So you go to the one, you say, you didn't ask me if I wanted to use my McDonald's account. I'd like my free cookie. So the person allegedly did not ask her if she wants to use her McDonald's account. So when she gets to the drive-thru window, she brings it to that person's attention, and the person says, yes, I did. And she says, no, you didn't. I want my free cookie. And then the manager comes, and the manager says, no, I heard them ask you if you wanted to use your account, so I'm not giving you a free cookie. And then she decides, well, I'm not moving from this drive-thru window until I get my free cookie. Do you see the childishness here? You see how some people are just like big babies in this world? Like, okay, like you really want the cookie? Like, I would think that people work so hard that who would care? Like, just give me the freaking cookie for $1. I'll pay you the $1, But at some point, she alleges that she has her gun on her side, and that they saw the gun on her side, and then they're lying and saying that she pulled the gun out. But if we were to watch the whole video, you would know that she's in the drive-thru, she's sitting down, the gun is on her right-hand side, the drive-thru is on her left. It's impossible for people to see the gun. She pulled the gun out and threatened the McDonald's people. That's how they knew she had a gun. That's why they called the cops and said she had a gun. So the police got a description of her car. They got her driver's license plate and all. I mean, her car plates. They find her on the street, and this is what happens.
On February...
And hold on. Big shout out. Let me just give a big shout out to where the video is coming from. Body Cam Watch. They got 510,000 subscribers. Body Cam Watch. Subscribe to their channel. In fact, I'm going to subscribe now. I for some reason, I wasn't subscribed, but I still get their videos a lot. So I think the algorithm was just showing me their videos because I watch their videos again. But now I'm subscribed, as you could just see. So you please go and subscribe to them as well. All right. So that being said, I'm going to hit him with a thumbs up. So make sure you hit the thumbs up on my show as well. Hit that thumbs up and make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. All right. So now let's watch it.
16, 2023, officers responded to a McDonald's after an angry customer had flashed a gun at employees. All
right, so let's fast forward a little bit once again, because one of these, I think it was Columbus, police body camera Columbus, that mother effer copyrighted me one time. It wasn't these guys, but I don't know if it's the same people or what. But I'm going to fast forward just so that I don't get copyrighted, all right? Let's go.
Exit the car.
All right, so his gun came out because this is a felony stop, ladies and gentlemen. It's a high-risk stop. You got to call if somebody brandishing a gun. Felony stop. Good job in the officer to have his weapon out, ready to rock and roll.
Exit the car.
What?
Exit the car.
How you gonna tell me to
Out of the car. Put it in park.
Who you yelling
Just
at?
give me
Who
traffic.
you yelling at?
Right here. Hand
See that? Who you? How you going to tell me to exit the car? Who are you yelling at? Counterculture. Unable to follow rules. Unable to understand authority. This is what gets people in trouble. The police are giving you lawful orders. This is your response.
Hands on the hood. Hands on the hood. Do you have a gun?
Yes, I have a
All right,
gun.
hands on the hood.
I'm licensed.
Okay, but hands on the hood. Stop arguing. Hands on the hood.
I'm being defiant, and I'm not arguing with you. Make it make sense. Let's keep going.
Hands is on the hood. Why have to put my hands on the hood? Am I arrested?
You're being detained.
How? Look, see what they doing to me back?
In front of Zoe's kitchen. Hurry up.
You see what they doing?
Give us traffic. Hey, Altamont. 1 Alpha 10-6, 1033 for units at McDonald's. 2 points, State Road 430.
If people don't even understand what this cop just did, that's mad respectful. You see this right here? What he's doing right now? He's engaging the lock on the cuffs so that they don't get tighter on her. If a cop doesn't give a F, he'll just put those cuffs on you. He won't engage that lock, and those cuffs will get tighter and tighter and tighter until you're losing circulation in your hand. Because every time you sit back on those cuffs, they're getting tighter. He did her a favor to make sure that those cuffs don't get uncomfortable on her.
Units at McDonald's. 2 points, State Road 434, 240,
Get my
State
ball
Road
money
434,
ready.
135 hour.
You're being detained. Did
You heard
flash
me?
a gun there?
What?
Did you flash a gun over there?
No, I didn't flash my gun. I told them they shut the door on me, and he.
Listen, she about to stop talking. She about to dig herself in a hole. Watch.
Why y'all doing all this?
See how she changed the subject? Why y'all? They shut the door and then they told me, "Why are you doing this to me?"
Why y'all doing all this? Why cost for all these cops?
Because they said you shot a gun over there. There. Here, hold on.
You, I don't have to.
Hey, she said there's a gun.
All right. So later on, she's gonna go ahead and switch the cuffs from the back to the front. Look how dangerous the situation is, man. You got to be very mindful of that when you cuffing people. Look at this.
Come with me. We're the girls. I'm gonna change your cuffs out, okay? Actually, why are you having? I think they're in the front.
I put it in the front.
You see how stupid she is? Like, she could be charged with resisting arrest or potential escape from custody by putting the cuffs on the front. Some people are just emotionally not intelligent, just emotionally stunted. This woman is fucking every day. Guarantee you. This woman probably has a kid or is about to have a kid in the near future. She's going to be raising the next generation. And we wonder why we're so freaking screwed as a country. We just got dumb people running around. Stupid people. Stupid people. Unbelievable.
So am I. All right. Just leave them, if ever when we put them on you, leave them when we put them on you, okay? So
and what are these cops doing?
You okay?
Can I just put them in the
These
front?
cops are trying to be as nice to her as possible. Listen, this is what this lady's going to say. Once again, I'm not playing the whole thing because I don't know if these guys are going to copyright and all that good stuff. But the cop says, listen, I'm going to put it behind you, okay? Don't put it in the front again. Otherwise, you're going to get an additional charge. We're not going to give you the charge now. We give you a pass, but don't put it in front of you again. Otherwise, you're going to get additional charge. But she's going to go home and say how badly the cops treated her, how disrespectful they were to her when she's brandishing a gun in front of McDonald's employees.
It hurts my arm like
No,
that.
we can't be in the front, but listen to me. Don't change them now because it'll be a charge. We don't want to charge you anything else, all right? Fair enough? We don't know what's going on right now, but we don't want to charge you for this. All right.
All right, that's all I can show about that. Once again, I'd love to have played the whole video out for you guys. but I just don't want to get a copyright strike or anything like that. Yeah. All right, so back to the main screen here. Guys, all this was over a cookie. It was over a cookie. All right, it's just dumb. It's really dumb. Anyway, guys, I love you guys immensely. You guys have been great. Please consider becoming Strategiceyes members. That'd be great for the channel. Support us with a membership. That'd be great. Some of you guys have gift memberships from some of our very generous viewers and members. Please take advantage of that gift membership and make sure that you are renewing that and you continue to support the channel. We also have Strategiceyes merchandise. You get Strategiceyes men's shirt, Strategiceyes sweatshirt. We also have mugs, coffee cups, the whole nine. Also consider checking back in a week or two where we'll get like short sleeve shirts and t-shirts and stuff like that for the summertime. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. All right, guys. So please support the channel in the way you can. You guys were great. I had a great time. U.S. Patriot ladies in the building. You guys have a wonderful day. I'm still looking for that perfect lawnmower. Anybody have any suggestions for a lawnmower? Please send it to me. I really would appreciate it. Go ahead and I'm still searching, still trying to do my research. Right now, one reason why I decided to do the live now is because I needed outside to get dry. It was raining yesterday and the sun is out today. And I just want to get that grass dry a little bit. Then I'm gonna go out there and mow the lawn. So guys, I appreciate you immensely. Thanks for supporting the Strategiceyes show. You guys are great. See you on the next one. Strategic is out of here. Peace.